views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of WPSL. After all, though, we are the culprits who went ahead and invited you to like and share them on social media and with all your friends and neighbors, because it's time for the science of caring. I hope you get your thinking caps on. Get ready to learn something, because we're going to make you smarter tonight. It's time for Careology, presented by CareBag. And to introduce tonight's host, here is Roxy Brown.
Good evening, everyone. And I'm going to say it, happy Valentine's Day. Whether you have someone to love, whether you don't have someone not to love, remember to love yourself. You are the most important person that you're looking into the mirror at. If you're driving, just take a glimpse in your rearview mirror. That's you I'm talking to. I just want to give a little love and a little hug out to everybody out there. And I'm so glad to be back this week. Sorry to miss last week. A little bit under the weather, but I'm feeling really, really good today. And I want to introduce Mr. Miles McGrath. He is going to be my host on the show every second Tuesday. I am the co-host today, and he has a very interesting program I am so excited about. But I'm just going to do a few little things about CareBag right now. We had our mobile shower, got picked up yesterday, and we'll be at the Methodist Church in Fort Pierce, and they will be starting showers for our homeless the second week of March. I believe it is March 11th or 12th. I'll have more information for you. Our other mobile shower unit will be going to La Jolla in the next couple of months while they do their construction. And we have some really, really exciting news. I'm very excited about it. August 6th, we are having our back to school free haircuts. So if you are willing and wanting to be a sponsor, please get in touch with us, because we're looking for sponsors that we can go ahead and put love on our children and our teachers. And then also on October the 14th, we are having a community baby shower, and it is for moms, expecting moms on the Treasure Coast, and anyone with a baby 6 months and younger. So we're really excited, and if you want to be a part of that, please get in touch with us. We're going to have more information to come, and I appreciate that. And Cliff is looking at me because I guess I was knocking my fingers on there. Thank you, Cliff. But Miles, good evening. How are you?
Roxy, I am doing fabulous on this Valentine's Day. What a great way to start the show. Look in the mirror and love yourself.
You got to. We always talk about self-love here. You can't love anybody if you don't love yourself.
I agree with that.
You gotta love yourself. You cannot put any love. It doesn't matter how many flowers, chocolates. If you're not loving you, you're messing up. You're missing out. You can't be happy. So
that is so true.
That is so true. So I'm just going to throw it out there. Miles is a sitting board member of CareBag, and we are just so lucky to have him. He started out as a volunteer, and from a volunteer, I think, on our council, then from our council on our board, and he is not a yes man. He's not a yes man. He's not a yes, Roxy. It's okay, Roxy. Oh, no. I get text and email.
Except when Roxy calls and asks for help. I
always get yes. But him and his lovely wife are just absolutely beautiful. And I came to him and I asked him, listen, I need help here on this show. And he said, I got you. And that was it. I said, I'll do the first show with you, and then that's going to be it. I'm going to be gone. Every second Tuesday, I'll be gone, sitting at home, still listening. But Miles, what is our topic tonight about?
I wanted to do something that we could share with the community that everybody can relate to. And how this topic came up, Roxy, is I've been doing these eye exercises to help improve my vision, and it involves meditation and going into a dark room, covering your eyes. It's a palming technique. And what I found is, when I was doing these exercises, I started doing them before I went to sleep at night, and I was getting a better night's sleep.
Ooh.
And then I thought, maybe sleep is a good topic that we can discuss today. And so I did some research, and I found some shocking statistics about sleep and how much sleep Americans are getting and how little sleep we're getting and how it impacts every aspect of life. So I wanted to kind of share my research with the audience and maybe share some tips on how they could bring some things into their life, maybe help them get a better night's sleep.
Would you like anyone to call in? Because we can open up the lines for you. You're the host.
If they want to call in and ask questions, if I can do my best to answer them. I think, you'll listen to some shows and they'll say, well, we're experts. I think we're all sleep experts because we
all
all sleep every night. So we all have experience with sleep. And I think
we practice a lot.
Everybody has experience with sleep, and I think everybody has experience when they're not sleeping, when they've been up at 2 a.m. and wondering why they can't sleep, or if they've been in college and they've, like you said, Roxy, pulled an all-nighter. So
we're going to give the number. It's 772-340-1590. That is 772-340-1590. And this is about sleep. So you can ask Miles from his research that he has done, because I'm just going to sit back and enjoy. So Miles, I'm just going to ask one question. You hear all types of numbers of what's the correct amount of sleep you should have for a night. From the research you did as a layperson, what amount of sleep should we have?
Well, Roxy, it really depends how old you are. According to the CDC, if you're school age, 6 to 12, you need 9 to 12 hours of sleep a night. So you probably notice that with the younger kids, they need a little bit more sleep. As you get older in your teen years, it's 8 to 10 hours. And adults are recommended 18 to 60 years of age, 7 hours of sleep minimum. And ages 61 to 64, 7 to 9 hours. And as over 65, 7 to 8 hours. And it's shocking if you look at the statistics, 1 in 3 adults in the U.S. don't get enough sleep.
I'm in that number. Not until last week, I was in that number. Look at him trying. Look at him saying you know what? I'll sit up. I noticed that at night when the phone is not ringing and the emails are not coming in, that's the best time for me to work. But what I notice, I get so enthralled in what I'm doing. When I look at the time, it's 5:30, 6 a.m. in the morning. I haven't gotten any sleep. And I'm still awake. But you see, I go to lay down and I notice it is so hard to lay down, because now I am overtired.
You're pumped up.
Yeah, I'm pumped up, and I didn't even have the coffee yet. So sleep is important, because when you put that head down, last week I was sleeping for 11, 12 hours.
There you go.
Tired.
It's amazing, and what they've looked at is people that chronically get about 5 hours of sleep a night live 15% less.
Ooh.
So they're actually cutting their life expectancy because they're not getting enough sleep. There's 3 studies Harvard University did. There's different studies on it. But that was an eye-opener for me. I couldn't believe 15%. So if you're going to live on average 80 years, you're going to cut your life to like 70 years old.
Because you know what, Miles, saying that if you're not getting enough sleep, this is what I'm thinking. This is where heart issues, this is where stroke, this is where health ailments come in, because now the best time your body can heal itself is when you sleep.
It's exactly right. Yeah. They were saying it affects cardiovascular, it increases your chances of diabetes, it affects almost every aspect of your life. They also, this was one that if you get about 9 hours of sleep, your skin is healthier. Your skin is has more moisture in it. It affects the aging process. So the total aging process accelerates when we don't get enough sleep.
If I look this good, I need to be getting a little bit more sleep. Watch out, world. No, I don't need any more. Watch out, world. Here I come. I need more sleep. But you know what I noticed? You saying that, I have been going to bed a little bit earlier since grandbaby has come with us.
I bet.
And I noticed that I can do more. She makes me tired. I have to follow around a 3-year-old. But when I go to sleep and I wake up, I'm actually more refreshed. My brain cells, I felt like they've had like a quenching of water. You know what I mean?
You know, you mentioned something, brain cells. So for years, before the 50s, before we had brain scanners, the medical science thought, well, nothing happens when we're sleeping. The brain just shuts down. Well, in the 1950s, mid-50s, they put EKGs on our brain. They could see there's a lot of activity that happens in the brain. And what they're theorizing now is the brain is similar to a computer. It's consolidating all the memories that we have throughout the day and allows us to be more efficient at how we use those memories. So when you don't get enough sleep, guess what? Your memory is severely impacted. And it really affects how we recall things. And it's counterintuitive, especially if you're in a study situation. You're thinking, I'm going to pull that all-nighter. Well, you're not going to retain all the things you're learning because you didn't get sleep to retain it
That's
in.
it.
So you need to build in some sleep in between those long study periods to help you retain all that information that you're learning.
Wow, we're just 17 minutes in, and I'm just getting a wealth of information. I love this. This is what I'm talking. Careology. That's what I'm talking about. I love that.
As we get into the new year, we all make goals. We want to get healthier. We want to exercise more. And I was really thinking, what is the bedrock of that? What affects everything? It's our sleep. And if we're not right in the morning when we wake up, how are we going to
messes up your
do
whole
our
day?
day? How are we going to go out and do all the things we want to do and engage with the world out there if we're not getting a good night's sleep?
You know what? I think we should do a challenge. Today is the 14th. If everyone can try for 10 days, I'm not giving you 2 weeks or 30 days, 10 days to go to bed early, that you can try to get a minimum of 8 to 9 hours of sleep and see how you feel. Just imagine that. If that's not good. You don't know if you don't try.
Exactly. And there's some tips I'm going to give you about how to set up your sleep situation. There's been studies on people, especially people that have insomnia, what they do for those people. It's incredible how your routine affects how well you sleep.
Wow.
I'm
trying. We talking about sleep, and I'm trying not to yawn.
Don't yawn. It's contagious.
Because we're talking about sleep and relaxation. I'm sitting here. I'm like, oh yeah, I can't wait to go to bed. And I'm just that. See, live radio, anything can happen. That yarn just came out. Sorry, Miles. Bad co-host.
You talk about being drowsy, and I know you're in the transportation business. Being drowsy causes like 91,000 crashes a year because people are drowsy on the road.
People trying to catch up with their sleep while
they're
driving.
No sleep, which relates to about 50,000 injuries, over 800 deaths, just because somebody's driving drowsy, not falling asleep, but just drowsy, just drowsy.
Because that 1 second you close your eyes.
Exactly right. So it's a real important thing that each of us that get behind the wheel of a car, being alert, getting a good restful night's sleep, makes all the difference.
Drowsy driving is just as bad as
drunk
driving. Yeah.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
And we're today, I think we all are impacted by trying to do more with less. We've got technology that we can search, we can Google anything. A lot of us are working from home, what does that mean, Roxy, for work from home?
It means you're always on your computer. There is no time. There's no break. There's no nothing.
Exactly.
You're just glued to your butt to your seat and your eyes to the screen, the blue screen.
Exactly. So you're expanding and getting into that sleep time from your work is eating into that sleep time, so you're getting less sleep. So it's imperative to kind of turn the tables on that and say, okay, I'm going to prioritize sleep and then build my work and my life around that so that I can, like you said, be more effective and do a better job, make less mistakes, get in less accidents, and be more effective. And at first you're saying, wow, that's an extra hour I could have in the day, but what does that cost you if you make a mistake or you have to run back to your house because you forgot something or you didn't make that phone call that was critical because you forgot it? All those are impacted because we didn't get a good night's sleep.
Wow. It wasn't lately, but I remember I was doing something and I felt tired and I was sitting there and I said, you know what, let me just lay down and take a little nap, like a 20-minute nap. I think it was 2-3 hours later I woke up. That's the same thing. That's the same look I had on my face when I woke up, Cliff. That look right there.
Where'd the time go?
No, I was like, oh my goodness, I really needed this. I woke up and I felt, and it only happened, trust me, it only happened once. I don't nap. But it was so refreshing. And I said to myself, wouldn't it be good if you can take that break, especially if you're running like how we're running, and just take that break for that 2 minutes? Because in France, they do that. In Italy, they do that. I mean,
well, they used to do it here in America.
Yeah.
I mean, there used to be a kind of a double sleep where we would
stop.
do our waking hours, have some sleep, and then wake up some more and then sleep again. But that ritual has gone the way because we have this mentality. I think it was Benjamin Franklin that said, I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Plenty of time.
No, you're not sleeping when you're dead. You're just dead.
Well, but if you have that mentality, you're going to die.
You're gonna
die sooner.
15% sooner.
Yes. So that mentality of I'm going to cut into my sleep to be more productive is really counterintuitive. You're going to be less productive while you're awake. And we've got to kind of take a new look at that as a society.
Well, you know what's funny? Italians, they always say live longer. So when we were in Italy a couple of years ago, we went out. We left the hotel and we went out. And we noticed every place was locked. The city actually shuts down. People go home. They rest. They have lunch with their families.
They don't do like New York?
No.
The city that never sleeps?
No. And it was so refreshing. And that's why they say they talk about women in Italy are the most beautiful women. They rest. They actually, the city shuts down and they rest. And, and I think we all need to be looking at it. Everyone looks at collagen and what makes you younger. Miles said it, sleep.
We're trying to put a Band-Aid on and override the fact that we're not getting enough sleep. And we're looking at sleep aids. We're looking at all these things that to try to get this when we just need to create a time every day, a routine. Go to sleep at a certain time. We wake up at a certain time. They're even saying that this notion of I want to catch up on all my sleep.
You can't.
It's not a bank account. Your body will respond over time if you give it the sleep it needs on a consistent basis. But if you think, I'm going to, get 3 hours of sleep a night, and then on the weekend I'm going to catch up, it's not doesn't work that way.
Can I ask a question? What are some of the best ways that we can get ready to go to sleep? Do you have any? That, to me, that's a good wind down. You know what? Hold that thought. We're going to go and take a commercial break because we have sponsors that really do good, and we want to thank Treasure Coast Lexus and everyone that really supports us. So we're going to be back with these valuable information from Mr. Miles McGrath, our host of Careology tonight. Miles, Roxy, I said it wrong. Cliff, Roxy, and our host Miles will be back in 1 second.
Thank you, Roxy.
Why call Two Men in a Truck of the Treasure Coast? You want to move your business without moving a single meeting? You want it handled with no fuss. Lots of stuff, no time to move it? You need the pros that care. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck of the Treasure Coast. Family owned and operated franchise. Call 772-236-0827. 772-236-0827. Movers who care. Visit Two Men in a Truck, TreasureCoast.com. Create custom business signage that customers can't miss or resist. Let Design a Sign in Port St. Lucie help you get the job done right. Over 80 years combined experience. Get it right the first time. Call 772-337-4027 and tell them Roxy said to call. Remember, call 772-337-4020. Design a Sign in Port St. Lucie.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
Back to Careology. Roxy, you were asking about some tips that you could do before you go to sleep at night, and I'm glad you asked that because there are a lot of things you can do, but they're very intuitive, nothing that's crazy, and and it's sad because we with CareBag we're dealing with people, our friends without walls. Being homeless, you don't have a really a good place to sleep. And I think that's part of the issue. You could get trapped in that situation because you're not getting a consistent rest. You're sleeping in your car, you're sleeping in a friend's house, you're just looking for a place to sleep on a bench somewhere in the woods. And so it creates a cycle where you're not getting rest, you're not thinking straight when you wake up. So it's even more important for that reason. Just people aren't getting a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
So if you have the luxury to have a nice place to sleep, consider yourself grateful because there are people that don't. But
Amen.
So express that gratitude. Hey, I've got a nice bed to sleep on tonight. number one. So be in that grateful state. No matter how your day went, you have a good place to sleep. Number two, you want to be winding down about 45 minutes before you go to sleep. That means turning the lights off, turning them down a little bit. You want to kind of create that sunset effect inside your house. Like the lights are a little bit lower. You don't want to be binging on Netflix, which I am so guilty of.
You don't be binging on anything.
Or playing your favorite video game, which I've done many times, and I had to learn the hard way. You want to be kind of calming down at that point.
Yeah, your adrenaline is rushing, and it's like you can't stop.
Right. So you want to be calming down optimally, right? There are times you're not going to be able to do that. You're just slowing things down. Get your hydration that you need, whatever you need at that point. Set up your sleep area. Maybe if you have certain music that calms you down you want to listen to, that's number one. Just create that environment. Now, light. We talked about light earlier, and you mentioned it. We have these devices called smartphones.
Oh, yeah.
Apple iPads.
The blue
all
lights.
Sorts of things that we look at. If you're staring at that right before you shut your eyes, guess what? You are not a computer. You're not like a laptop that can just shut off. Your brain is still going through those images and going through all the things you were thinking about and the emails you were sending and the text messages and the social media and everything you were thinking about is still processing in your brain. You want to stop doing that, like I said, about 45 minutes before you go to bed. Now that would be the real challenge for everybody, is that they could do that, right?
If they can do that.
Because it's so hard to turn off. So that's number two. Number three is darkness. When you finally, it's time to go to bed, it's ideal to have a dark room to be in. Our bodies, that's what we want. That's what we're hardwired for, is darkness. That's our circadian rhythm is triggered by darkness. We all have it. So you want a dark environment. The fourth thing is, and it's not going to be a surprise to anybody, is being a little cooler. Yeah. Creating a cool environment. Yes. Turn that air conditioning down a little bit if you can, and create a cool environment.
That's the best way to sleep, in a cool environment.
Doing those things right there is going to dramatically change. Now, if you're really having problems sleeping, you can keep a sleep journal. Write down over a few weeks and see what are your patterns. Like, how did I sleep tonight? How many hours did I sleep? When did I wake up? And you want to wake up on a consistent time. Even on the weekends, you want to consistently wake up. And for those people that really want to get everything done, well, they'll be up at 7 in the morning on a Sunday, still getting everything done, but they still can get that 8 hours of sleep throughout the week. So those are the big tips. Would you like some extra credit?
You know what I want? What are some no-nos?
Well, the obvious no-no is caffeine late in the day, right? That is triggering our already overstimulated nervous system. The caffeine is doing that. Now, some people, we all know, they can just drink coffee all the time. Day. They don't seem to have any effect with it, but other people are very sensitive to caffeine, so you got to watch that. Again, looking at your tablets and watching movies, getting hooked into movies.
Talking about that, since you said that, I was thinking TVs in the bedroom, because that's a big thing with me and my husband. He believes there should be no TV in the bedroom. He said that just messes up your sleep, that messes up everything. On the other hand, so if y'all know Roxy, you know that we have a TV in our bedroom. But but I notice it messes me up, because once it's on, my eyes are like, and the minute it goes off, sometimes I don't even know when he turns it off. I wake up, I'm like, oh, how did it go? He said it didn't go. You fell asleep before it even finished. I noticed that's another, because that's a blue light. It's still a screen. It's still a screen.
What is on the TV? You're not even aware. It's the background noise. Some people want that noise, that white noise. So some people put white noise in the room to create it. And if they're using the TV for the white noise, I can understand it, but you're getting that light.
Yeah,
that's
light.
Affecting you. You're not getting a complete darkness. So that's one thing. And then what messages are being broadcast to you while you're subliminally
Yes.
in a sleep state? You're opening yourself up. You know, you're like, why do I want to buy that item the next day? I was like, I heard the commercial. No, we don't want to go
why
against
the
commercials.
boxes
We're on
coming to the
radio,
house?
but at least let me be aware of what
you're
what's
buying.
being piped in. So
Well, let's hope he's not. Let's hope JR is not listening right now. As I go home and there will be no TV in the bedroom, Cliff.
I've heard of people waking up and discovering that they spent $17,000 on Amazon while they were asleep.
Oh, that's never going to happen. I could tell you that's never going to happen.
well, you know, with some of the sleep aids,
Yeah.
there's been studies that show some of the sleep aids cause sleepwalking and cause people to do things that they're unaware of
Wow.
because it really puts them in such a type of sleep that there's a higher incidence. They'll find crumbs in their on their mattress, like they were eating at night without even knowing it. Like they're like, it's like
Wow.
so. There are people that need those and melatonin, like when you're traveling and for jet lag and things like that. I'm not saying there's times where you probably don't need those, but to be chronically dependent on that is
I always wonder is how addictive is it? You know, but that's a whole nother show, Miles. We're gonna tuck that one in there for Miles' next show. That's I always wonder how addictive is that, you know. But it's just good to know how important sleep is. It makes me, and this is what I noticed. So I always tell everyone, I always talk about me first. I got sick last week, and I noticed from when I got sick, even though I just got a little cold, because I have been so sleep deprived, I've been working on grants and working on other things, and I noticed because I was so sleep deprived and because I was not getting the amount of sleep, when I got a little cold, my whole body just shut down, and I had no choice but to sleep. You know, that's it. By the time I got home at 8:30 from dropping her at school, I would sleep until it was like 3:30 because my body just went. That was it. I couldn't do anything else. Yeah.
Got the override.
Yes, and I had to catch up. And so I like what you said. It does affect your health. Because when you get sick now, your body doesn't know how to, your body hasn't been resting to go ahead and, you know, have everything it needs to say, okay, she got a cold, we can fight it, let's move on. No. Oh, I need my rest. We don't have anything. And that's a good point.
The other thing is, talking about temperature, this one's a little counterintuitive, but if you take a hot bath or a hot shower, your body gets heated, and then immediately when you get out of that shower or bath, it tries to cool down. So it's trying to cool down, so it actually creates a coolness of trying to cool down. So it puts you in that mode of trying to cool down, so it relaxes you. So that's another tip. To take I'm a big believer in cold showers. Oh, yeah. But don't take a cold shower at night if you're trying to get a good night's sleep. Take a warm foot bath or a warm bath or a hot shower that before bedtime. That actually helps with sleep.
Cliff, what do you do to get ready for bed? I know we're getting into personal information. I'm just interested.
This is public information. It's real easy. All I have to do is lay down. Sometimes I'll be sitting there watching.
You're like my husband. He just has to think. He just has to think of sleep. Nothing irritates me more than I'm tired but I cannot get to sleep, and to see somebody sit there and just, I'm tired. They get up, shower, boom. You go there to have a conversation, and they are in the next second REM of sleep. That's them, you know.
It could be a sign of sleep deprivation if you're getting to sleep that quick. That's one of the tests they actually use. They put a spoon in somebody's hand, and they have like a tray near their bed. And if you are falling asleep within like 5 minutes, that's a sign that you'll drop the spoon, and then you'll wake up, and that's a sign that you're a little sleep deprived.
He's been doing that for a long time.
So he's probably not getting enough.
Okay, so we got to work on that. And if he's listening, which I'm sure he is, he's there shaking his head. I told you, stop bothering me. Let me sleep.
So don't put the TV on.
I'll sit down or I'll lay down, and everybody in the house goes, "Good night, see you tomorrow."
That's it.
They know it's not going to take very long.
Yeah.
I can't overstate the creating that sleep environment in the bedroom. The TV is not a sleep environment. So yes, watch TV if you want to watch it later. Have it in another room.
Set it to shut off by itself.
Or that's another thing. Set it to shut off by itself. But you're still
have
putting yourself in
that
right before you go to sleep. You're in this mode. You're watching the Tonight Show or whatever you're watching, and then you're not shutting.
Yeah,
you're
you're not
not getting. You're
shutting
not
down.
creating that transition. The other thing, if people are into mindfulness, doing a little mindfulness in a dark room before, call it meditation, call it prayer, but getting into that state of mindfulness prior to sleep, that's my extra credit. And that's really what kind of hit it home for me. I was doing these exercises where you palm your eyes to help your eyes rest. And that's where this came about. I was like, sleep. So your eyes are working so hard throughout the day, and the time that they have downtime is when you sleep. Well, if you're not giving them that bridge to rest before you go to sleep, they're not going to get that extra rest that they need during the night. They want that darkness to get the eyes want to be dilated at some point. And we, in this modern society with electricity,
we don't even think of that.
Our eyes have little chance of dilation. The
Until
only
we
time
sleep.
that is
When we're
if we can
sleeping.
give it that little break.
Yeah.
People even talk about walking at night when it's dark. But if you palm your eyes a little bit and create that darkness and prepare yourself, it's almost like a domino effect. Your eyes start relaxing, your body starts relaxing, you're going to have a more restful night's sleep. And if you're having problems sleeping, this was another one that I think could be a tip for some of the listeners out there. There's a tendency to just lay in bed and just be awake in bed and wait to go to sleep. They're saying if you're not able to sleep, get out of bed, go to a different area, do whatever you got to do, and when you start getting tired, go back to bed. You want your body to associate the bed with sleep, not a place of activity, not a place of... So if you're having problems sleeping, go to another room, and then when you're really tired, lay back down. Lay back down. So that was advice that I didn't think, but that's what people do that are having like insomnia and having problems sleeping. That's what they recommend they do, and also keep a sleep journal.
What I found interesting more than anything else is about the eyes. We don't think about our eyes need rest. We think about the body, everything else, but our eyes, they do everything more than our lips, our ears, our everything. They're constant, and when they can't focus, then you need glasses, then you need bifocals, then you're half blind, then you can't see. That's the trajectory of your eyesight. Either you're seeing or you're not seeing. So when you said that, I was like, wow, they need to rest as much as we do.
Yes.
The hands over the eyes is great, too, because our eyelids are not that thick. In fact, go out on a sunny day and close your eyes, and you see everything.
You can still see the light,
Yeah, because of the light from the sun.
The light, the eyelids, they're very thin.
You want to stretch a little bit before you do it because you're holding it for a while, but you can put books or put a pillow under your elbows to do it. It's a great technique, but it'll help you get into that sleep mode, and it'll help your eyes rest. So that was an aha moment for me.
I hope those that are driving are not getting sleepy.
No.
No, you're listening to do this when you get home. Do not try this while you are driving.
As long as we don't start yawning, because that's contagious.
Yes, that's very
that
contagious.
Is amazing how that is contagious. Laughter too is contagious.
But it's just interested on and the thing is we all know how important sleep is, but I think when you break it down and you chop it up and you dissect it, then you realize, wow, I know this, or I've learned something new because I have. Why am I not doing this? We're so involved in our life, we don't realize, again, I said we need to love ourselves. This is part of loving yourself.
Yes.
Getting good rest.
Get a good night's sleep.
Getting a good night's... I'm going to try that tonight.
Part of pampering yourself.
Yeah, because I get up early. I weekend or not, I get up between 6 and 6:30.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But are you going to bed at enough
Sometime-
time to give yourself the sleep you need?
Sometimes I do. So I set my phone. You're going to love this. I actually set my phone for bedtime at 9 o'clock. So my phone shuts down for do not disturb at 9 p.m.
Good idea.
Now,
that's a great idea.
now that's a good idea. You're right. It's an excellent idea. The problem is, do I pick it up?
Oh.
Are you looking at social media?
Am I
Are you
looking?
surfing the web?
Look, social media is not really my thing. So I don't have
So
to
what
look.
is what's your thing?
It's surfing the web with other stuff.
Yeah.
Social
Finding
media
grant
sites.
applications and things like that.
Yeah, you're right. I'm going to stick to that one, grant applications.
Good
But it's
excuse.
just, I might see an email come in and then I'll go to the email and this because I'll check oh, did I check the emails? Did I have something important come in? And then the next thing you know, I look, 9 o'clock is now 11:30. Then it's 12 something, and I'm like, oh, I'm sitting there. I look at the clock. I'm like, oh God, I could have just left the phone at 9 o'clock. And it's because I love it. I love what Samsung does on their phone, and because we're visual aids here and everyone could see it, I'm gonna show Miles. See, bedtime.
Love it.
So bedtime, oh, it's on now. But what happened is when you click your bedtime and it goes, your whole phone goes black.
I love it.
So the blue light is gone, everything is gone, and you can set it. And sometimes for me it works because I don't hear it now. Boom, I'm gone, and it's beautiful. I love it.
Just like your the phone, there's apps running in the background.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Heidi was making this analogy,
Mm-hmm.
and our brain's got these apps running in the
Yeah.
background that need rest.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
you need to shut down.
That's it.
We
And
got to reboot our hard drive.
Something
Yeah.
something
That's it.
magic happens while we're sleeping. We haven't got into this yet, but our dream time, we're dreaming,
Mm-hmm.
and when we don't have a restful night's sleep, our dreams are not informing us. They're not giving us information. Sometimes dreams can be helpful, but if we're having a non-restful night's sleep, we're not getting into that deep REM sleep. We're not going to have those helpful dreams that can give us information that guide us and give us intuition. So that's a whole nother, people talk about lucid dreaming and things of that nature. That's like another step beyond, but we're missing out on all this restorative experiences when we belittle or we neglect sleep.
Yeah, that's true. So it's important. So the question is now, it's a personal challenge. You don't have to text me, call me, Roxy. No, you don't have to do that. It's a personal challenge with yourself. Try 10 days. You can't do 10 days, 7 days. But when you see the difference, I think if you try it and you do it, because I've done it. I've gone to bed sometimes when I'm tired and she goes down at 7:30 or 8 and I'm laying there. Sometimes I'm laying down and then I'll wake up 3, 4 o'clock and I'm like, oh, I got to go to my own bed now. Because I lay down with her to help her get settled for sleep and I fall asleep. And I'm waking up early in the morning like, wow, I was really tired. Your body, that rest just, because we do it for babies. We give them a black room. We give them quietness, because we need them to be just in that peaceful moment. But for ourselves, we got everything on. It's crazy.
We don't feel like we're being productive.
Yeah.
But we actually, our body is being very productive. It's restoring itself when we're sleeping. So that notion of productivity is really, I think, the issue. It's like, well, I'm not doing anything. I'm asleep. Well, you are. Your body's restoring itself. What's more important than that?
And sleep. That's true. We have a little saying, I don't sleep, I hustle. You're
Right,
just always
right.
going. But how much hustle can you get when you basically can't function? How much mistakes are you making?
Exactly.
Because when you're tired, I'm going to tell you, you make mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
You make mistakes. You make mistakes. Did I say you make mistakes? Yeah.
You got to say it again.
You make mistakes.
We
So
all
you
make
want to get that sleep.
We have to remind ourselves.
Yeah, and that's important. So I love that.
What
I'm
I
gonna
heard as
try.
a young child growing up, that it's the sleep that you get before midnight is much more important than the sleep after midnight, because you don't really get to sleep till about midnight. Then you're in the deep REM state, the rapid eye movement, and the dream state and all that. You got to really be out of it by then. And I've wondered, how come we're only dreaming when we're just waking up?
I think we tend to remember those dreams more often
Yes.
when we're just waking up.
Yeah.
And that's another thing you can do. You can keep a dream journal. Write down, what's happening if you see repetitive dreams. In doing this research, one of our presidents, Lyndon Johnson, kept having these reoccurring dreams. And there's one dream that he had when he was he relayed this to Doris Kearns Goodwin, who did his biography, that he kept swimming in a circle around and round, and he couldn't get out of it. And that dream convinced him to get out of the Vietnam War. So
It would have
Just-
convinced me to put the other fin on. Both
Yeah,
of them.
yeah.
Instead of just one.
Exactly. So it's amazing how powerful, but if we're not hearing those messages, we're not aware of it because we're just so deprived in our sleep. we're not listening to that higher, call it what you will, that higher self or whatever it is that's trying to communicate. Or even if that's not your belief system, just the awareness, being more aware. And it's my hope that folks listening will just have that awareness of something so basic, a good night's sleep, and how
Restful
you can prepare
sleep.
restful sleep, how you can prepare for that, what you can do to set it up, having a consistent sleep pattern. Like you said, challenge yourself. It's going to make a difference in your life, and
it can't hurt.
One little difference creates
Yeah.
that domino effect
Yes.
and leads to something else and leads to something else, and then you can achieve those goals and other goals that you have and make better decisions.
And if somebody's saying, "Oh, I see you got up on the wrong side of the bed," it might be because you're not getting enough sleep. Try that. Your whole outlook. I know when I get sleep that I feel more productive because my brain cells are just going. And that's the good thing about it. So, take, like Miles said, take that your own personal test. Make it 3 days, make it 7, make it 10, make it something, I think, to just try. Because I'm going to go home tonight and I'm going to try that.
And I noticed that the older that we get, the earlier we seem to get up in the morning. It seems like between 4 to 5:30 every morning. I'm up.
Yep.
And I'm up anyway because I wake up and I just, hey, it's a new day. Let's go for it. And
I've always woke up early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought old folks did it.
No, not just old folks. I've always woke up early, but I always go back to sleep. That's the thing. But I notice now when I go back to sleep, I automatically wake up at 6:30. It's an automatic. Even on the weekends when I wake up, I'll wake up, but I will go back to sleep because it's a weekend. But I'm up because my body's in tune to getting up. So, and even when I'm sleep deprived, I still wake up, and you get up more grumpy. You need that, because you can feel you want to lay down, but you got to get up. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to try my personal. I'm going to try it for the rest of this week and just see how it feels.
People always say to me, have a great day. But I am a great day. All I must do is be.
There you go.
To be, you got to get your rest, or else you're not going to be.
That's right. And plus, we just learned, 15%, you add 15% more to your life.
If you're getting a good night's
If you're getting a good night's sleep.
And for the adolescents out there, this was one that got me, the athletes, for the adolescent athletes, and I know IRC Sports is big on this station. What they found is that young athletes that get over 8 hours of sleep consistently have 65% less injuries.
Wow.
It was a study that was done, and they looked at a couple thousand athletes and their sleep patterns. What an advantage.
Wow.
The other thing is their decision making in terms of the reaction time for athletes was almost 5% better. Now you think 5%, that's not a lot, but in a very competitive sport like baseball or something like that, that extra edge, when you get a better night's sleep, you're going to make better decisions. You're going to visually see, like, for example, in baseball, you're going to see the ball better. You're going to be able to respond better. It's a huge edge, and that tells, I think there's a Roger Federer, or one of the famous tennis players, gets on average 11 hours of sleep a night. Now, why is he doing that? It's giving his muscles time to grow. It's giving his body time to heal. People that play tennis, that's a rough game on your joints and everything like that. He's spending that time because it is a valuable thing. So that's a lesson for all of us. I used to work at a health club, and there was some really high-end bodybuilders there, and I asked them, what's the hardest part of bodybuilding? His answer really surprised me. He said the two hardest parts, Miles, are eating enough and getting enough sleep. I thought he was going to say all the time in the gym. He goes, that was the easy part.
That's the
is
easy
getting
part.
enough sleep, because those muscles need
to
time to grow.
You have to leave the gym and go home and go to sleep sometimes. You can't spend the night in the gym.
And I just, that was a shocker to me, but a good lesson. Here's somebody at the pinnacle of muscular development saying, really, it's not the time in the gym. It's getting enough sleep. I was like, what? So it's a good lesson.
I know one thing I have definitely learned. So anyone wants to know anything, our new host is teaching us, because I learned sleep, the importance of sleep.
If you don't listen carefully, you'll learn the hard way. You're destined to learn
Yeah. Or
Whether
you're
it's the hard way or the easy way.
That's right. Definitely. I know I'm going to try it.
I think if you look back at your life in the poor decisions, I mean, I know for me, the poor decisions or accidents I've been in, there's one similarity between all of them. It's I didn't get enough sleep the night before.
Wow.
If I look at that, I can look at
Everything.
every one. I'm like, the time I did this, the time I did that. What was this one consistent factor was?
Partying the night before.
I didn't get enough sleep the night before.
Yeah, partying the night or going out the night before.
Right.
But you know what? I think that comes with as we grow, because as you're an adolescent, no one listens. No one listens. So we have to make choices and learn from our mistakes, unfortunately. So, but I'm learning that Roxy needs
having
sleep.
the knowledge, we can help look out for others, which
We will
is
try.
categorized under caring.
Yeah, caring.
Careology.
Careology. I knew you were going there.
It's a great word, a great concept. I mean, I never heard of it before. It's like a word that you could make up that still has quite a reality to it, you know, because there's not enough of it going on out there. People that just
Somebody
don't-
has put a little thing on there
Oh,
about
yeah.
essential oils.
Oh, okay. And that is Miss Heidi. I love my bedtime ritual, including nice smelling body oils or lotions and a pillow sprays. It relaxes me. Oops, I lost it. It relaxes me and sends a signal to my body to start feeling sleepy.
Good idea.
Thank you, Miss Heidi Lee McGrath. I wonder if that's any relation to Mr. Miles McGrath.
Well,
who looks an awful stunningly like, I'd say a doppelganger for Burt Reynolds.
Oh, we're gonna run. Now everyone that's on the radio is like, "Oh, I gotta get on there. I gotta see
You gotta
him.
watch the archive.
I
of
gotta
that
see.
show.
I gotta see the archive to
You
see
have
how
no
he
idea.
looks." Yes,
That's so
Miles,
funny.
Mr. Miles McGrath is very fetching.
that's so funny.
Yes, he
That
is.
is so funny. You just
I
said
use
that.
I use the British lingo.
That's-
Miles McGrath is very fetching.
Who doesn't
everyone.
like Burt Reynolds? Come
There
on.
you go, Burt
right.
Reynolds. That's a good.
Smoke
But
him to
Heidi, thank you. That reminds me, I have a lavender spray. I'm gonna use that tonight.
Lavenders are good.
I'm gonna use that.
Good one.
I'm gonna use that essential oil. Yes.
Put that in your bath, your hot bath. Yeah. Get ready. Create a nice environment. It's Valentine's Day, you know. Why not make it soothing and relaxing before you nod off to sleep and have sweet Valentine dreams?
Hey, I love
know-
that
you know?
sweet Valentine dream.
Yeah.
Listen, rest is the most important thing for me right now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get back to my 100%, and I'm not. I've slept all week, and I'm still not back 100%. Why? Because I need rest. So, but I can't believe it, Miles. This was awesome. I love this. This was absolutely awesome. Is there anything else that you forgot or you think you forgot to tell us?
Well, the one phrase that got me, and we've all heard of the phrase jet lag, but there's a phrase that was coined a few years ago called social jet lag. And that's really, we can understand, like if we're taking a trip to Australia, we're going to have some jet lag because of
Yes.
the time zone differences. But when we start pushing into our sleep time, we're creating social jet lag. And I think people can see that concept. You're really monkeying with your time. We all experience it when we go to, was it daylight savings time? Every year we all experience that. There's 20% more heart attacks on that day, believe it or
Wow.
not, because of that, just that 1 hour less of sleep. But when we do that to ourselves, and we do that social jet lag, we create it, I don't think we're fully aware of the consequences of that missed sleep on us. Another thing I read is that if you're just getting 2 hours less sleep for a week, it's equivalent to going 2 days without sleep.
Wow.
Straight. Can you imagine going 2 days
2
without
days
sleep?
without sleep.
It's some of
that's
us have
something
probably
I can
done
do.
it, but
Used to do it regularly. but
No,
we
I don't think I
It's-
went 2 days without
it
sleep.
really
yet.
affects us, and
Yeah.
that's the point we're trying to make here on the show tonight.
Well, I know I can't wait to get to bed. I'm because now I see, you know what happens? No one knows everything. And when you are now educated and when you are now equipped, thanks to Mr. Miles McGrath, our sleep expert.
No, we're all sleep experts.
Yeah,
Just-
we are a special sleep expert.
we all need the knowledge.
We all need the knowledge. That's right, Cliff. So if you put some of these points in, you never know what's going to happen, you know? So We thank you.
Well,
Part
you're
of the
welcome.
science
Yeah.
of caring.
Hello. There you go. You had it.
Careology.
The science of caring. That's right. Caring for a better sleep, caring for a better you, caring to make you live 15% more.
That's right.
It's better for you when you care than when you don't.
Oh, we're going to really
Better
go with
for
this,
you.
aren't we?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, it's seriously real stuff that people need to know.
That's true.
You know?
And we thank you. I can't wait to find out what your topic is for the next show. Ooh,
I love that.
I'm
look in
interested.
the mirror. I love that. Look in the mirror.
Oh, yeah.
And love yourself. I mean, that's.
We talk
if
about
getting
self-love
enough
on this
sleep
show.
Is loving yourself.
It's loving yourself. So I'm just let everybody know 9 o'clock is my cutoff point, and this is our cutoff point now.
Not yet. We got at least another minute.
Oh wow, a whole new minute.
A whole new minute that we can utilize here.
Well, Miles, thank you.
You're welcome.
This has been the beginning of our Valentine's for a new show with Miles McGrath. I can't wait to find out what he's bringing to us next month. It was an honor to be your co-host this evening.
Thank you, Roxy.
Yes, I
Pleasure.
can't wait for next month, right?
Right.
And I won't be here, so I'll be able to sit home and listen at home.
Oh, you'll be able to actually listen to the show from the outside looking in. That's a
Yes.
different angle.
I love it.
I promise I won't make you fall asleep.
No, I won't. I love it. How are we?
Well, we're going to be setting the time forward pretty soon.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Well,
So you'll be able to listen and it won't be dark out.
and it won't be dark out. Well, I know our time is coming down, but this is Roxy with Careology, your co-host tonight with Mr. Miles McGrath, your host, and our lovely engineer, and Martiane in the background over here being quiet,
She's so quiet.
as normal. We want to thank you for a beautiful show, Miles. We've learned so
welcome.
much,
You're
and I'm so happy that we're going to be having you on Careology. And thank everyone for listening. And like I said, you are never alone. You have yourself. Love yourself. You are important, and you are loved. This is Roxy, and we're signing off on our Careology. And we just want to say thank you. Have a beautiful night, and bye-bye. See you next week.
All
Bye,
right.
guys. If you could reimagine the way you buy a car, what would you do? Make it simple, make negotiations disappear, demand transparency, then experience amazing at your Treasure Coast Lexus dealer. Car Buying Simplified. Treasure Coast Lexus is a proud sponsor of Careology. Every Tuesday at 6:05 p.m., caring and supporting for our community. Car Buying Simplified. Check out your Treasure Coast Lexus dealer.
WPTV's First Alert Weather on WPSL is brought to you by Seacoast Air Conditioning, online at seacoastair.com. Now with a look at our forecast, here's meteorologist Jennifer Correa.
A lovely evening on this Valentine's Day. Temperatures will drop down in the mid-60s right around sunset, and skies remaining mostly clear. Tomorrow, wake-up temperatures in the low 60s, afternoon highs a bit warmer in the upper 70s, and will be mainly dry over the next couple of days. Thursday, highs staying in the low 80s, a slim chance for an isolated shower, and winds starting to pick up. Friday, near record heat, highs topping out in the upper 80s with some afternoon showers. A few showers continuing into the weekend. By Saturday, highs down in the low to mid-70s.
I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Jennifer Correa for WPSL 1590, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
Living in Florida is paradise until your AC breaks down. Seacoast Air Conditioning offers service in hours, not days. We answer the phones, show up on time, and fix the problem right the first time.
Comfort crisis, don't roast, call Seacoast.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
School in Newtown, Connecticut